What? No more stupid mistakes. Right here. Let's go! That's it.
Welcome back to Eastern Iowa OT. These last 4 shows, just a warm-up as we get into the meat of the football season. Same for teams across Eastern Iowa. First 4 weeks mean nothing if you can't get the job done once district play begins. Beginning tonight. It's a sprint to a postseason. And for Linn-Mar and Cedar Falls, who's going to get out of the blocks first in 5A? The Lions have been a juggernaut through 4 weeks. They and Cedar Falls have the numbers 2 and 3 leading rushers in Class 5A. Ground and pound at the Lions' Den tonight. Homecoming for the boys at Linn-Mar with this new co-head coaching situation. Is the new format going to stick if the wins keep coming? Coach Brad Rimmer, long-timer with the Tigers, a chance to get right after 2 straight losses. This game's scoreless late into the first quarter, but here's Linn-Mar's workhorse, Dylan Mazinski, already over 600 rushing yards and piling on more here. 53-yard touchdown run. Mazinski already his 11th rushing score of the year. They don't play skee ball, but it's Mazinski ball. But Devarian Clark for Cedar Falls, somehow even more impressive numbers coming into the night. Goes over 700 yards on his first run of the evening, puts El Tigres into Lion territory. Now this is the last play of the first quarter. Leighton Wolf spots Will Rimmer in the end zone. Rimmer bobbles it, but I think he pins this against his right calf muscle and secures it. The officials, they get together and say, oh yeah, baby, that's a touchdown. The Tigers tie it at 7. Now we're late in the second quarter. Cedar Falls acting like they're Billy Flynn, gonna razzle-dazzle them. The pitch back to Trey Reuter. He cocks back and delivers a beaut to Rimmer again. Rimmer only had 1 receiving touchdown in his first 4 games. He had 2 in the first half tonight. Cedar Falls had the lead at halftime, but his second half block PAT is the difference. A Linn-Mar touchdown with 16 seconds left and a made point after gives the Lions a 28-27 win. They're now 4-1, while the Tigers take their 3rd straight loss. Can anybody contain Liberty's offense? In his first year of head coach of the Bolts, Scott Chandler's got the boys humming at a clip of 45 points a game. Trying to keep that tempo moving tonight against Prairie. The Lightning start strong, opening drive, moving down the field. Owen Drapeau, his 8th touchdown of the year. He's going to keep pace with Clark and Mazinski. Liberty's up 7-0. Following drive, Redding gets the ball downfield again. And how about Drapeau again? Drapeau's the defense. Turns on the afterburners. Liberty out to a 2-touchdown lead. Then we get a little sloppy. Liberty and Prairie trading turnovers with a couple of fumbles. Prairie comes away with good field position. Wyatt Eash, he's going to get it to Denzel Green, and he puts the defense on ice, cuts the lead in half, and Prairie hangs around in this one. But Liberty, the offense not doing what they have the first 4 games, but they've got just enough in the tank to move to 4-1, a 5-point win on their home field. Waterloo West is one of only 4 teams in 5A who still hasn't lost a game. Lonnie Moore's got the Wahawks running wild. 1 more win would give them their most since 2017. Waukee Northwest, they're already up big, but West ain't getting shut out in this one. Brady Dean, a perfect ball to Destin McMurrin. Perfect throw and a perfect catch at the end of the first half. Cuts the lead to 35-7. But there's no 5-0 start in the cards for West. The Wolves putting that perfect season to bed. 49-21, Waukee Northwest takes this one at Memorial. One of those other 5A teams who hasn't lost this season, Cedar Rapids Jefferson. It's the same storyline that we kept trotting out last fall. A year ago, the Jayhawks jumped out to 4-0, just stunned football fans in Iowa, but that train fell off the tracks, starting with a Week 5 loss to Wash. That's the next hurdle Ed Miles and Jefferson need to clear if they've got postseason aspirations. No better matchup for our game of the week than a presidential slugfest. Curtis is at Kingston Stadium with highlights.
Once again, Jefferson is off to a 4-0 start, but keep in mind, 2 years ago when this non-district schedule was made, it was made for a team that only had lost 27 straight games. For many, the season starts now, and against Cedar Rapids, Washington, a rival that they would love to beat to finally have a winning record. Nothing like the East-West River rivalry to fight for a chance for 5-0, but Wash has had its way in this matchup. Will things change in 2024? Scores 13-12 Jefferson in the third quarter. Brock Davis gets the sweep and takes the ball to the promised land. 2-point conversion is good. Warriors go up 7. But very next possession, Vernon Brenda drops back and launches a dart to a wide-open Lucas Renard. Midway through the third, we are level at 20 apiece. But Wash has another something for him. Grady McGuire finds Terrellyn Montgomery on the screen, and he scores. Warriors back up 7 with 3.5 to go in the ball game. But remember the name, L.J. Nenow Jr. A routine curl route turns to a quick trip to the casa, his second long touchdown of the night. But with things tied 27-27, 2 minutes left, that's too much time for the Washington Warriors. They march right down the field and set up sophomore Logan Barton, a sophomore who hit a 48-yarder earlier in the game. Can he win it with 7 seconds left? Yes, he can. Wash wins it at the gun, 30-27. That rivalry trophy is staying east as Jefferson falls short against its rival once again.
I was thinking about just make it. Did not overthink it at all. I knew I had the time to do it, and it just happened all good. We won that game. Go through the uprights every time.
Reporting at Kingston Stadium, I'm Curtis Fader, Iowa's News Now Sports.
Is that a homecoming invite afterwards? Man, love that kid. Well, this is a Thursday night game at Kingston. City High and Kennedy in week 1 of district play feels a lot like do or die for the 1-3 Cougs, and Jacob Doyle's doing his part to keep Kennedy relevant. Kid's a wrecking ball. Had 3 touchdowns last night, 1 through the air, 2 on the ground, but City High. My guys can put up some points. Bobby Bacon to Parker Sutherland right before the half, ties it at 21. But for the second week in a row, City High went for 2 in the final minute to edge out a 1-point win. The Little Hawks have ripped off 3 straight wins after they started the year 0-2. Elsewhere in Class 5A, over in the Des Moines Metro, Iowa City West taking a 16-point loss against Ankeny. Hempstead, boy, they hang around pretty well with Bettendorf, who's the number 3 team in the state. Not an all that bad loss, but Hempstead taking another one on the chin on their home field at Dalzell. Xavier, losing streak, 3 words that belong nowhere near one another. Can the Saints shake it off for homecoming? They can and they will when Clinton's in town. That much you can bet on. And what is in the water at Wahlert? The Golden Eagles have flown the coop and are soaring at 4-0. Another offensive onslaught for the blue and gold. Plenty more from a dominant Class 3A in Eastern Iowa after the break.
If they swing 5 to you, we'll rally to it, all right? But you cannot jump that. Hey, set the tone right away. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Wolves!
Let's get a win. Let's get a win.
Dwayne Schulte is seldom in the business of losing consecutive football games. October 2011, the last time the Saints lost at back-to-back weeks. That 13-year hot streak of no cold streaks came to an end last Friday. Back-to-back losses to Western Dubuque and Pella has Xavier on the precipice of what feels unthinkable, falling below 500 in district play, but a homecoming clash with Clinton. There's no way the Saints are going to let this streak run to 3 in a row. It doesn't take long for the Saints to put their foot on the gas. Carter Hoffman carrying a lot of the workload this year. An early touchdown gives Xavier a 7-0 lead. Still kind of figuring out the QB situation at Xavier, but this sophomore, Sam Schimber, filling in nicely while Cash Parks is out with an injury. Connects here with Will Foreman for the touchdown. Schimberg, he's going to get his second of the night just a little while later in the first half. Ryan Kelly piling up the yak, 28-0 in the blink of an eye. Running clock for the entire second half. The losing streak is over. Xavier with a plump and healthy 56-0 win over Clinton. Team that can't afford another losing streak is Marion. Began the year 0-3, coming off their first win and a quarterback change. Can the Wolves get things pointed in the right direction with their first home win of the season? Waterloo East, they're lined up to punt late in the second. Or are they? Jaquie Parker takes the fake for a first down. Gutsy call with their backs against the goal line. But the ball's going right back to the Wolves just a few plays later. Lucas Horak. What a pick from the Marion senior. A diving grab for his first interception of the year. Marion goes to halftime with a 17-0 lead early in the third now. More things happening with Waterloo East punting. Colby Belts breaks through the line. Belts with the block. Aiden Nichols untouched for the touchdown. 24-0. Marion, who's been badly banged up this year. A lot of injuries on that Wolves roster, but they pull off their second straight win. First home W of the season for those boys in Marion. A few more 4A scores. Decorah is looking really good this year. They beat the Riverhawks on the road 41-7. Another 4A game as we get district play started. An upset by Waverly Shellrock. Go Hawks going home with a 22-6 win over Western Dubuque. Mount Vernon has hopes of summiting Class 3A this fall. Their hopes for perfection fell off a cliff last week with a 1-point loss at Solon, but can they keep climbing the polls as we head into district action? It's Mount Vernon and Mount Pleasant. Our own Englishman who went up a hill and came down a mountain. Is it Hugh Grant? No, it's Mitch Fick in studio with highlights.
I don't understand the reference, so I won't respond to it. Brad Meester and the Mustangs with a couple close games the last couple of weeks. Remember, before that loss at Solon in week 4, they hung on for that 2-point win at Benton in week 3. It was homecoming for the Bobcats that night, and it's homecoming for Mount Vernon this evening. Meester and company looking for that bounce back. First quarter already up 8-0 when the snap on the punt goes high. Mustangs recovered in the end zone, but the punter had already touched the ball while out of bounds, so it's a safety, not a touchdown. 10-0 Mount Vernon. They get the TD 2 plays later, though. Kellen Haverback gets it out to Jace Jaspers. JJ does what JJ does. 43 yards for the score. 17-zip Mustangs. Still in the first. Another one from Mount Vernon. Cooper Hurd with the final word on this drive. Mustangs bouncing back in a big way. 59-0 with the homecoming win over Mount Pleasant. Mount Vernon now goes to 4-1. They hit the road in week 6, going to Davenport Assumption next Friday.
Underrated Hugh Grant and Colin Meaney vehicle, the Englishman who went up a hill and came down a mountain. Well, we've got about 6 Eastern Iowa teams on a collision course in Class 3A, all with the potential of winning games at the Dome, but Wahlert's the one that still people probably aren't paying enough attention to. Kid gloves are off for the Golden Eagles, already 4-0 with 3 dudes who could hit 4 digits in rushing yards. If Wahlert's ever been 5-0, then it's not in the history books. These guys making school history one week after another. Another step toward perfection tonight in Center Point. Golden Eagles with a golden defense, a sack, and a punch-out. There's Michael Borman getting on the recovery. The Eagles just not giving CPU anything to work with. On the next pointer drive, Golden Eagles, golden fleecing the pointers. This is Luke Healy pulling down the interception. This road crowd from Wahlert is loving this defensive performance. 23-0 at the half. Wahlert defense, they are elite. Their 3rd shutout of the year. A couple of tough ones coming in the next couple of weeks, but Wahlert looking a lot like a team with a deep postseason run in its future. Solon's a top 10 test for a 2nd week in a row. They just beat out Mount Vernon by 1 single point last week. Any chance there's a hangover after a rivalry win? The Spartans are down 7 early to Grinnell. The quarterback, Ty Bell, faking the handoff, throwing a dart to Owen Einwalter. Solon misses the PAT after it's pushed back due to a celebration penalty for those dance moves. So Grinnell's up 7-6. Wouldn't matter for long, though. Brady Kaufman hit near the goal line is a fumble. Eddie Johnson, everywhere Eddie, he scoops it up, taken down inside the 5-yard line. Johnson didn't score on defense, but he'll get another chance on O. Punches this one in. Spartans take the lead, but they miss the PAT again, so it's 12-7 Solon. And the Spartans' next drive, Bell dumps it off to Johnson. I'm telling you, this kid is everywhere. Breaks a tackle, hits the edge, cuts back, and he's tripped up inside the 5-yard line. That sets up another touchdown. This one's from Bell to Maddox Kelly on a slant. The Spartans survived the slow start. They beat the Tigers 26-7. Another impressive top 10 win for Solon. Elsewhere in Class 3A, Williamsburg, same story. 54-14. They beat South Tama and Independence. They've got that big game coming with Wahlert next week. A 36-point win over Central DeWitt. Still more to come, and we've got our eyes on a pair of 4A teams in Class A. Is Lisbon for real? Can they find the end zone against a stout Pekin defense? Highlights coming soon. And a first for our friends in Waterloo Christian, 2 years in, and finally play their first true home game. We're putting the word home in heavy air quotes, but for the night, it's home sweet dome for the Regents. More Eastern Iowa OT after the break.
There's a little play action. It held the backers in there for a little bit, but we got to get there. Bandit, we're going to help on that too, right? If it gets across the formation, we're going to help there.
Week Week 5 is when we start looking at playoff positioning, and it's time to start talking about who's getting overlooked. Lisbon and Pekin, two front runners on that front, both 4-0 between the two schools. They've only allowed 22 points all year, 5 combined shutouts, and Lisbon's only ranked 5th. Our friends down in Packwood haven't even cracked the top 10. Mitch Fick back in the studio. Maybe he can crack the case of when we'll see some respect put on these programs.
Well, beat another 4-0 team. That'll probably do it. You talked about the defense. These offenses pretty potent, too. Lisbon coming in tonight, averaging 44 a game. Pekin putting up 58 on average. They did win their opener 76-0, so that'll pump the number up. Lions looking to tame that Panther offense tonight, though, at Wahlert Field. This is Iowa, though. You're going to get some special team shine. First quarter, Gage Holland getting a hand on the punt. Lisbon's going to start their first drive of the game in fantastic field position. Great chance to go after this Panther defense, and it's gone. Lions fumble on the first snap. Pekin gets it right back. Ensuing drive, Panthers going to go for it on 4th down. Chase McFarland going to go ahead and live up to the moniker, chasing down and sack and getting it back for the Lions. Lisbon pulls up its bootstraps and leans on Tyrion Boots. Check out the Boots scooting on the option pitch from Dakota Clark. Boots going to come in and just tippy-toe across the goal line for the score. 7-0 Lisbon. To the second, same score. Just a tiny little baby boot scoot on this one. Still going to count the same, though, for Boots. Lions lead 21-0 at half. They end up with a 28-15 win over Pekin. First loss of the year for the Panthers as Lisbon roars to 5-0. Really good shot to win out, but of course you got to take it as they come. Lions head to Waterloo next Friday.
Well, how about the boys in Hudson, 4-0 for the first time since winning a title in 2017. I know he's the competition, but hey, how about the Fighting Ron Steels on the road tonight in Alburnett? It's the battle of the 7 seas. It's the Pirates of the West meet the Pirates of the East. Alburnett looking aggressive early, going for it on 4th and 7. Tucker Klima is open for the touchdown. The boys in purple and gold, they take a 6-0 lead. Hudson now looking to answer, but Hunter Sauer, their quarterback, he's going to get, Hunter Sauer's on defense. He's dropping the quarterback for the sack. Hudson, they go 3 and out. Now the Purple Pirates are swashbuckling their way to an upset. Brody Kasner with a connection to Brady Merrick. Brody to Brady, a bunch of points for Alburnett. They're up 13-0. Hudson's only points in the night come on a touchdown run from Kean Klein, who's a really good 1A QB. Going to put up big numbers this year. But raise the Jolly Roger. Alburnett spoiling Hudson's perfect start. Not often you'd see a running clock against a ranked opponent, but Alburnett, they really show us something tonight. Regina certainly no stranger to a 4-0 start, but new head coach Dustin Ellsbury, he's figured this thing out pretty quick. Regals up to number 6 in the Gazette poll. They've never lost to Cascade, and that is not changing tonight. First drive for Regina and the march right down the field into the red zone. Regal QB Kyle Tracy keeps it. A leisurely stroll into the end zone for the first score of the night. Regal's D holds up. Next drive, Xavier Miller gets the call, breaking multiple tackles up the middle. Picks up 20 yards and a first down, and a few plays later, the Regals prove they can do it through the air. The Cougar D putting pressure on. Tracy rolls right, tosses it up, and Tate Wallace, he's in the end zone. Regina goes up by 14. Good fight out of Cascade, keeping this one tight, but Regina is 5-0 with the 21-7 win over the Cougars. Elsewhere in Class 1A, strangely enough, these rivals from over in the Grundy County, Butler County area, Grundy Center and Dyke New Hartford, each winning 48-6 tonight. They're number 1 and 3 in the state. This is the 31st consecutive win for Grundy Center, I believe, after they've won the last 2 state titles. Last August, a first for Waterloo Christian High School, fielding a football program for the first time, and tonight, a year and change later, another first as the Regions play what could be considered their first true home game. No field at the high school, so they've played their first 13 games all on the road. That changes tonight, kind of at least. They go under the lights at the Unidome for the first time. Cedar Falls High School moves out. The Regions happy to take their place at Stan Sheriff Field. They're 2-2. A win against Central Elkader would get them above 500 for the first time. But the Warriors, they strike first. Braxton Borman breaking one off up the middle. Nobody touching him. Central Elkader up 8-0 in the first. Waterloo Christian trying to answer, but the pass over the middle picked off by Maddox Eggleseder. Central Elkader's got everything working. Eggleseder, there's a name that put up some points in Cedar Falls back about a decade ago. In the second quarter now, Owen Hammerslin putting in one half of the hammer. Don, he's in for 6 more. Central Elkader spoiling this first night of the Dome for the Regions. 44-0 shutout. The Warriors have their second win of the year. Good for those guys. Week 5, it's the first week of district action. The games just mean more, and the top plays just mean more. We'll dig into our first play of the week during district play when we wrap things up after the break. It's week 5. This is when the games really start to matter, and it doesn't get much better than having your play of the week come from your game of the week against your biggest rivals across the river. This game between Jeff and Wash is tied at 27 with 7 seconds left. Sophomore Logan Barton hitting his 3rd field goal of the night, ranked one of the best kickers in the country in his class. And the most important thing won, handing Jeff its first loss of the season, securing the huge rival win. And look at this. Will you kick it with me at HOCO? Logan Barton, boy, putting yourself into the record books with a homecoming date ask after kicking the game winner. No chance that girl said no to the invitation. If the kid kicks the game winner and then asks you a homecoming, this is serious Matt Vandenberg vibes after he had a game-winning play against Iowa State in the Cyhawk rivalry. He proposed to his fiance, now wife. Similar vibes out of Logan Barton as he asked his date to homecoming. Boy, good night for that kid. Love the story out there at Cedar Rapids, Washington. And we've got a lot of great 3A teams playing in Eastern Iowa this year. One I want to talk about in particular is Dubuque Wahlert. This is a team that does not have a lot of traditional success on the football field. There's Independence, there's Williamsburg, there's Mount Vernon, Solon. Those guys are taking up a lot of space in the rankings in Class 3A. But Wahlert, they've gone out there, just started the year 5-0. I don't have access to a lot of history books, but I don't know if there's ever been a time where Wahlert has started a season 5-0. The defense has had 3 shutouts in its first 5 games, a team to really watch for this year. Thanks for joining us on Eastern Iowa OT. Got a lot of good ones coming back next week. We'll see you next Friday night.